Hi everyone, Misilla here, Learn to Grow up in the Pacific Northwest Zone 8B. So today I am doing an update of the scraps that I have been regrowing. I think the video was uploaded about 3.5 weeks ago now. So let's walk around the garden and up on the deck and I'll show you what we have going on. Here are the 3 celery scraps that I planted last fall that overwintered. And it looks like this one's growing a central stalk, which means it'll produce flowers and go to seed. Celery is a biennial crop or vegetable, which means they produce for a whole year and then go to seed on the second season. Over in this container are some spring onions or scallions. These were planted from scrap about a year ago now. And there is a flower. And looks like another one's about to come out right over there. So we should be getting some seeds from this as well. Before I forget, just want to mention that to fertilize your potted plants every 2 weeks, the nutrients drain out as you water the plants, so they don't stick around as long as if you were to plant them in the ground. The in-ground plants are fertilized about every 4 weeks. And I primarily use worm castings and compost that we make. I don't use chemical fertilizers. I try to stick with our organic amendments, which is better for the soil, for the microbes, fungi in there, which the plants benefit from. So here are the bok choy, more celery, carrot tops, and spring onions, as well as onion scraps. And this celery is doing great as well. The carrot tops. You can eat all these leafy greens, guys. And now the only thing is when your plants start to go to seed, like this bok choy here, is that the leaves will start to taste bitter, so they're not as good when they produce the flowers and or seeds because they're putting all the energy into seed production. So it looks like there are no onion bulbs since it is shooting up some flower stalks, which means it'll produce flowers and seeds for us. So it looks like we'll be getting some Walla Walla onion seeds, and I've never grown that variety before. Now the reason why I dug it up is because a couple of years back I planted an onion scrap, and that onion scrap produced 3 small onions about the size of golf balls. So that picture was from last month. Here are the spring onions now, and we've been harvesting them. They'll keep producing for you throughout the season, and you can do the cut and come again harvest. So you can cut your plants back all the way about 2 to 3 inches above the soil, and they'll keep producing these greens. And what's great about spring onions is some of them are perennials, which means they come back every year. So you might get lucky if the scraps that you regrow is a perennial variety. And here is the bok choy producing a lot of flowers and seed pods. So we should be able to harvest the seed pods by the end of June. And we can plant the seeds for our fall garden. And here is an onion scrap that you can divide if you want to into separate plants, and they may grow small onion bulbs for you, or they may set flower and go to seed. And I'll be uploading a video on regrowing onion scraps and dividing them, so stay tuned for that. Here is the piece of potato that I planted a month ago. Each potato plant can yield you 4 to 10 potatoes. Here are a couple of sweet potatoes, and I am sprouting them for these slips. Once they reach about 4 inches tall, you can go ahead and root them in water. These slips were placed in water just 5 days ago, so they root pretty quickly. Once the roots reach about 1 inch, you can go ahead and plant each slip in a 10-gallon container or in the garden. What's great about growing sweet potatoes is that the leaves are also edible. So only sweet potato though, not the other conventional potato. Sweet potatoes love the heat, so I'm only growing them for the edible greens. So if you wanted to just grow them for the greens, you can just plant the whole potato and not root each slip, and you will get a lot of greens to harvest that you can prepare like you would with other leafy greens such as spinach or kale. Each sweet potato can yield you up to 50 slips that you can plant. Check out all those roots. So I started some more scraps, so more to come next month. I'll post another update, so make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that way you don't miss out. So far so good. Stay tuned. So we should be getting some seeds from the carrots, bok choy, celery, onions, and spring onions. Also make sure to change the water daily or every other day if you are rooting your scraps in water to prevent bacteria growth, and this goes for herb cuttings as well. Now if you decide to plant your scraps directly in the soil, make sure the soil is well draining and you have to keep it moist, especially if it's getting warm. You have to make sure that you water it every day or every other day so it'll promote root growth. Now it might be easier to just root them in water and then transplant them like I did last month into the garden or into pots. Now if you missed the first video, make sure to check out the link below and also stay tuned as I'll be working on more scraps that I am regrowing this summer. Thanks for joining me everyone. Have a wonderful day and happy gardening.